Gathering arms, Ma Teng moves to rescue the emperor. Commanding a force, Cao marches to avenge his father. Dong Zhuo's former generals Jue and Guo Si plotted the emperor's death, but their comrades Zhang Ji and Fan Shou opposed them. The people will not accept it yet, they warned. Better to bide your time. Murder was delayed, not abandoned. From the tower, Emperor Si cried out, demanding the rebels withdraw. But Jue and Guo Si refused, twisting rebellion into loyalty, insisting they deserved rank and reward. The rebels listed their rewards, lands, titles, and command. With no choice, the emperor approved, watching power slip from his hands to the very men who had threatened his life. Satisfied with titles and rewards, the rebels withdrew from Chang'an, camping nearby. For a brief moment, the city was free of their presence, yet the shadow of their power lingered still. 3 times they sought to bury Dong Zhuo, and 3 times heaven cast him out. Thunder split his coffin, fire consumed his remains, the very earth refused his rest. Jue and Guo Si seized control of appointments and demotions. Loyal attendants were expelled, replaced with spies. Every movement of the emperor was shackled, his throne reduced to a prison. For the sake of popularity, the rebels summoned Zhu Jun, naming him court administrator. Yet this was no restoration of loyalty, only a mask to cloak tyranny. The West stirred. Teng and Han Sui received secret imperial edicts granting command. With allies in the capital, they swore to march in the emperor's name. 3 officials risked their lives, conspiring with the Western commanders. With the throne's secret blessing, they pledged to strike down the rebels and restore order. The rebels debated. Jiashu counseled patience, warning that hunger would defeat the West. But Li Meng and Wang Fang, blind with pride, clamored for glory in reckless battle.
Give us 10,000 men. We shall return with their heads.
To rush into battle is to invite defeat.
On Jiashu's advice, rebels fortified the passes. Zhang Ji and Fan Shou guarded the hills, while Li Meng and Wang Fang rode ahead with prideful hearts. Ma Teng and Han Sui led their forces forth. From the rebel side, Li Meng and Wang Fang arrayed their troops in defiance. The fate of the West would be decided. 17 years old, Ma Chao rode forth, spear in hand. His youth belied his power. Strength and valor poured from him like fire from a forge. Despising the youth, Wang Feng rushed forth. But within a few passes, Ma Chao's spear pierced him. The rebels were stunned. The boy was no boy, but a warrior. Li Meng pursued, but Ma Chao turned like lightning. In an instant, the rebel was snatched from his horse, leaving his soldiers leaderless and scattered.
Now you are caught.
Leaderless, the rebel troops fled. Ma Teng and Han Sui pressed the attack, their banners advancing deep into the passes. Victory was theirs, and Li Meng's head bore witness. Jue and Guo Si, humbled by the fall of their champions, saw the truth of Jiashu's counsel. His foresight proved invaluable, and the rebels clung to his wisdom, turning from rash combat to wary defense. Betrayed by one of their own, the 3 loyal officials and their families were seized and executed. Their heads hung at the city gate, a chilling display of cruelty and fear. Pressed by hunger and defeat, Ma Teng's forces fled, their fate hanging by a thread. Only Ma Chao's ferocity held the pursuers at bay, his valor buying his people a chance to escape. Han Sui rode boldly to meet his pursuer, appealing not to steel but to shared bonds of home. Words alone turned aside death, as loyalty clashed with conscience on open ground.
We are fellow villagers. Why then must you press me so hard?
I obey my chief's command, yet your words weigh heavily.
Mercy shown on the battlefield was twisted into betrayal at camp. When Jue heard of Fan Shou's restraint, his fury ignited. For kindness to an enemy was, to him, treachery. Accused of secret collusion with Han Sui, Fan Shou was slain in mid-feast. Zhang Ji quivered in terror, spared only by Jue's whim. Treachery devoured its own.
Why conspire with Han Sui? You turned traitor, eh?
Though tyrants ruled in the emperor's name, Jiashu counseled them to win hearts through order and care. By this stratagem, the court began once more to prosper, gathering strength. 100,000 strong, the yellow scarves rose once more. Wherever they came, fire and plunder followed. A new storm gathered in the east, threatening the realm. Zhu declared, "If the yellow scarves are to be broken, none but Cao Cao can accomplish it." His words stirred hope amid unease. From Chang'an, the court's command sped to Dongzhuo. The emperor called upon Cao Cao to rise once more, and with Bao Xin, lord of Jibei, crushed the rebellion. Bao Xin struck deep into the yellow scarves, dealing death with each stroke. Yet valor could not defy fate. There he fell. City after city fell, and rebels bent the knee. In 100 days, Cao Cao's army swelled with 300,000 soldiers and 1 million people. From surrendered rebels, Cao Cao forged the Qingzhou army, strong, fearless, unyielding. His fame grew daily and his name echoed across the east of the passes. For his triumphs, Cao Cao was made general who guards the east. The capital praised his deeds, though none foresaw the greatness still to come. Lu Dai yielded, inviting Cao Cao to govern Yanzhou. At his new seat, heroes gathered like rivers flowing to the sea. From Yingchuan came uncle and nephew, Xun Yu and Xun Yu. To Cao Cao, their arrival was heaven's gift, counselors fit to guide an empire.
Xun Yu is my Zhang Liang, my trusted strategist and guide, just as Zhang Liang was for the founders of Han.
From humble hills came Cheng Yu, drawn by Xun Yu's word. Though modest, his mind was keen, and soon his wisdom would shape the fate of armies. With Guojia came Liu Ye, Menchong, Lu Qian, and Mao Jie. Thus Cao Cao's circle of strategists widened, each voice sharpening the blade of destiny. Yujin of Taishan arrived with his men, archer, horseman, warrior beyond compare. He was made inspector of the army, a pillar among Cao Cao's ranks. Dian Wei proved his strength before all. Cao Cao, delighted, gave him command of the headquarters guard, robe and steed, and trusted him as shield and arm.
This is old Eli again.
Old Eli was a legendary warrior famed for his extraordinary strength and skill. Cao Cao, anxious to unite with his aging father, sent an escort to bring Cao Song to Yanzhou. The family traveled with care, unaware that danger shadowed their path. Tao Xian, the upright imperial protector, welcomed Cao Song and his household, entertaining them kindly and sending Zhang Kai with 500 to escort them onwards. Trust seemed affirmed. Their journey halted at Guafei by a violent storm. The weary party crowded into an aging temple. Shelter brought safety, or so they thought, while unrest grew among some of the escort. Zhang Kai, once tied to yellow scarf bands, plotted with jealous men to plunder Cao Song's train. Their talk turned to sudden attack and the promise of easy wealth. A sudden uproar startled the household. Cao Dai rushed out to investigate, and chaos followed. Panic spreading through temple corridors as plans hatched in shadow erupted into action. As attackers burst through, some tried to flee. In cramped corners and narrow doorways, panic turned to despair. Those who hid waited in trembling silence as fate unfolded around them. The attackers made fast work, and soon the temple burned. Some of the escort fled with ruin in their wake, while the world of Cao Song's household smoldered in ash and smoke. Some escort survivors escaped to tell the tale. When the news reached Cao Cao, he collapsed, struck by the magnitude of his family's loss and the dark turn of fate. Overcome with grief and rage, Cao Cao swore to exact vengeance for his father. He would march against Xuzhou with overwhelming force, determined to leave no refuge for those who harmed his kin.
Tao Xian's people have slain my father. I will sweep Xuzhou from the map and satisfy my vengeance.
Cao Cao left a strong garrison to guard the east and set out with the rest of his army to ravage Xuzhou in retribution, ordering van leaders to press each city hard. Hearing of Cao Cao's advance, Bian Rang rode to aid Tao Qian with 5,000 troops, determined to stand by his friend against the vengeful tide. Cao Cao sent Xiahou Dun to stop Bian Rang's relief. The two forces closed, each riding for a decisive strike that could tip the balance for Xuzhou's fate. Chen Gong, who once freed Cao Cao, came to plead on Tao Qian's behalf, insisting the protector bore no guilt for Zhang Kai's treachery. His words appealed to mercy, But Cao Cao's wrath proved harder to sway.
Tao Qian is humane and blameless. He did not order this. Think of the innocent you would slay.
Chen Gong's intercession failed. Cao Cao, consumed by vengeance, would not be moved. He prepared to sweep Xuzhou with fire and sword, set on retribution for his family.
You abandoned me once, now stand aside. I shall blot out those who killed my kin.
Cao Cao's army struck hard through Xuzhou, leaving towns devastated and people scattered. The campaign bore the mark of calculated retribution, its scope vast and merciless. Tao Qian sought peace through words, humbling himself before Cao Cao's wrath. Yet grief and vengeance choked all reason. No plea could quench the fire of a son's fury.
I wish to make friends with you, illustrious sir. The fault does not lie at my door.
You old wretch, you killed my father, and now you dare mumble this nonsense.
At his lord's command, Xiahou Dun surged forth like thunder unleashed. Vengeance guided his spear, his loyalty unshaken, as Tao Qian turned and fled for safety behind his lines. As Xiahou Dun closed in, Cao Bao spurred forth to shield Tao Qian. As spear met spear, heaven itself intervened. A tempest tore across the plain, scattering men and beasts, and vengeance was delayed, if only for a breath of time. Faced with overwhelming force, Tao Qian's heart bent toward sacrifice. Better, he thought, to surrender himself than see his people perish beneath Cao Cao's merciless wrath. Where despair reigned, courage found its voice. A lone figure declared hope, promising a stratagem to undo Cao Cao's might and turn the hand of doom against him.